Hello and thanks for joining us for the Midday News. More than 100 homemade guns, various factory-made guns and bows and arrows were voluntarily surrendered on Wabia village in the new Hulia-Komwa district over the weekend. This is following a challenge placed to the people of Hela by the Prime Minister James Marape in Tarrytown for his people to change their attitude, stop tribal fights and surrender their weapons. While surrendering the weapons, the owners revealed how and where the weapons were sourced from, with alarming revelations of the weapons being sourced from police and military and from across the border. Prime Minister James Marape expressed appreciation for the combined efforts by political, administrative and public sector leadership to restore peace and normalcy in Hela. East New Britain has been challenged to redefine itself as a model province underpinned by its unique culture built upon peace, love and respect. Peace was the key message from East New Britain businesswoman and owner of Tropicana, Dame Sandra Lau, in her annual Boxing Day visitation to inmates at the Kerevat Gaol. Dame Sandra Lau's visit to Kerevat Jail on Boxing Day lit up the festive season for inmates with inspirational messages apart from Christmas gifts and special prepared lunch packs for the prisoners and staff. Dame Sandra was accompanied by East New Britain Governor Michael Marum, Provincial Administrator Levi Mano, Bishop Rokas Tatamai and staff of Tropicana. Amidst the breakdown in law and order in the province, and following the recent unrest in Rabaul Town, Dame Sandra's key message was for peace and security for East New Britain.
My one and only wish for this holiday is for peace. Peace throughout our beautiful nation of Papua New Guinea.
However, she said she is heartbroken to note there's been a substantial increase in numbers from 400 prisoners last Christmas to 500 this Christmas, which she said is alarming. She anticipates this number to decrease in the coming years. Dame Sandra's wish for this holiday is peace in the country, adding there's a lot of hatred in the society today.
It's my utmost prayer that love and not hatred be in our hearts. You must get laugh. Laugh in our hearts. Someone got something wrong with you, laugh man. And the money no got sorry. No got ting no God. So laugh man. No can fight him. No, you fight him, now you stop. Must you don't fight him on that knife game. You know, you mean no criminal.
As Christmas is celebrated across the country, Dame Sandra's call on everyone to draw inspiration from the message of Christmas and make East New Britain better again.
Let us also turn our hearts to God and seek guidance and strength. As we celebrate this Christmas season, may the spirit of love and goodwill inspire positive change. And may we draw inspiration from the true message of Christmas. Together, we can create a better future for Kokopo, Rabaul, East New Britain. A future with an atmosphere of love, understanding and peace.
The celebration ended with the distribution of food and gifts to the inmates. The Popondetta General Hospital and Biru Correctional Services Institute have received 10,000 kina worth of food and groceries from the Oro provincial government. It is a gesture of appreciation to the institution's continued commitment on their respective roles in the province. This gesture reinforced the long-standing tradition institute initiated in 2012 and demonstrated the ongoing commitment of the Oro provincial government to support the healthcare and correctional services sectors in the province. More than 200 young people from the Seventh-day Adventist Church gave their lives to the Lord through baptism last Saturday, December 23, 2023, at the Campri in Markham Valley, Morobe Province. The baptism of the 245 young people, known as Pathfinders, was the highlight of the week-long Campri that began on December 17th at Tararan. Prime Minister James Marape opened the Campri with Chief Secretary Ivan Pomaleu declared it closed on December 23rd. In regional news, bargain-hungry shoppers have flocked to stores around the country, some rising before dawn to try to net a good deal. Retail groups say Boxing Day spending is up year on year after months of consumers tightening their belts.
Around the country, people were snapped out of food comas by the early alarm.
We got here at 4:30.
I got up at 5, 5:20.
I picked her up at 5:30. It was so worth it. So worth it, I'd do it again.
I normally come here early, about 6 in the morning, and try and snap up some bargains.
After a day of gifting others, it was time for hordes of early risers to look after themselves.
A kettle and a toaster and maybe some clothes.
I'm looking for more clothes because I already got heaps of clothes, but I want more.
Robo vacuum cleaners have been flying out the doors this year.
Others weren't there by choice.
I'm waiting for my girlfriend shopping in Lulu.
At what time did you have to get up?
I haven't slept yet.
It's all about her. I'm just a courier, I just get to freight it back to the car park.
150,000 were expected at the nation's largest shopping centre in Melbourne for an annual tradition, still projected to attract millions despite the enduring cost of living crisis.
I think people are really starting to struggle with interest rates being so high, and you know, they're not necessarily buying, but they're more browsing.
People still got to live and enjoy themselves, so hopefully they'll find a good bargain and they still have money to eat.
The cost of living has certainly affected retail and retail confidence.
Retail groups say Australians were keen to make the most of bargains after a long period pinching their pennies. About $24 billion will be spent nationwide in the post-Christmas period to January 15, a 1.6% increase on last year. East Coast states are the biggest spenders, with $7.6 billion dropped in New South Wales alone. It's relief for many retailers.
We're looking at the RBA to see what their next move is, and that will have a profound impact on sales predictions for next year.
Wary of a difficult road ahead.
Most people think of zoos as a place to just see lions, pandas or orangutans for an afternoon. But they are also places of innovation and developing new ways to save endangered Australian wildlife. At zoos in Victoria, this includes song meters, mini pulse monitors and an aerial food delivery service.
And soon, perhaps, life-saving. This is Xena.
Zoo Emergency Nutrition by Air.
It's a custom-designed drone attachment that could soon be used in fires, floods or droughts.
The idea is that you can get out there quickly, strap it to a drone, fill it with all kinds of different food items that might be suitable for all the different animals in that particular patch of bush, and fly out and disperse food across quite a wide area at fairly short notice, quite cheaply too.
It's an extension of Zoos Victoria's drone arsenal, which is used to survey habitats, 3D map landscapes and track animals, and an example of the innovations that Zoos Victoria spends more than $250,000 a year to develop. But not all innovations are up high. Some are closer to the heart, like the mini pulse oximeter.
This technology is very innovative and really important to what we do, because historically we wouldn't be able to count the heart rate of certain species. Tiny animals have really fast heart rates.
Stethoscopes can be too large for accurate readings of some Australian animals. That includes the critically endangered mountain pygmy possum, which was only rediscovered in the 60s, making every single one precious.
They are about 40 grams, they can get up to 60, 70 grams, and they hibernate under the snow.
Other animals on the endangered list in Australia include this elusive bird.
The plains wanderer is, in terms of evolutionary distinctness, not like any other bird on the planet. It's on its own family tree.
Standing just 12 to 15 centimetres tall, there are as few as 250 left in the wild.
We can't always see them, but if you're in the right place at the right time, you can hear them.
So, for the past 5 years, song meters developed with Museums Victoria have been set up to listen for the bird's call, with great success.
You can put them into a sort of a much broader area across the landscape. You can have a whole array of these recorders, and the birds are showing up in places that we may not have assessed as best quality habitat.
Song meters are being placed in Western Victoria, and it's hoped Xena will be ready, but not needed anytime soon.
This time last year, many Murray River communities in South Australia could only watch as floods destroyed people's livelihoods. For the small town of Kingston on Murray, there was fears it could wipe them off the map when the river swept away its beloved caravan park. But with the support of the local community, the park owners are choosing to fight on.
Situated on the picturesque River Murray, the Kingston on Murray Caravan Park is the place to stay when visiting this small country town. But a year ago, the very thing that attracts tourists here swept that all away.
I can't even describe it. It was just heartbreaking to watch everything just go under, all in slow motion.
The owners spent about $300,000 building this levee around the park before it was hit by its biggest flood in 60 years. But they were evacuated before they could finish.
I could just see the trickle start coming over the top, and that's it, guys, get out now. You know? So we did, and I just sat there for an hour and watched it come in.
Only allowed back in 3 months ago, work is underway to get the park back up and running by Easter.
How long before you were able to actually dredge all the water out as well?
Yeah, because it acted like a big dam, so it nearly took me 2 weeks to pump it all out.
Missing out on 2 Christmas seasons, $800,000 out of pocket, and not knowing whether insurance would come through, they weren't sure that they'd stick it out.
Tossed back and forth, but in the end it really came down to the town. They've given us so much support, and if the town loses this caravan park, there's a lot of other smaller businesses rely on the tourism we bring in here for their businesses.
I can't believe it rained today.
For Jeff and Barb Calvert, this is also their home, and they're just starting to move back in.
Plan of attack for tomorrow, Barb?
I don't know. Scratching my head, there's still so much more. I haven't even moved the office back here because of all the rain today.
While in the end this levy wasn't enough to save this 50-year-old caravan park, the Calverts are determined to keep its story going because they know if they can bounce back, their community can too.
It's been a hard recovery for a community of around 300 people, with the closure of its general store threatening to ship their post office out of town. So Barb Calvert put her hand up to help.
Morning, Sheridan. Thanks for that. I said, well, we've got to keep the post office. So I said, yeah, if we need, that's the only way to have it open. I'll do it for now. But yeah, it might be for the long haul.
Makes it easier for us people in Kingston to still have a letterbox to go to.
She hopes they can keep the office local by eventually moving it to the caravan park, helping her push through a tough period of her life.
It's our home, our business. I just didn't want to know any more about it and just bury my head. And Christmas Day we spent in bed and didn't want to open the door, didn't want to see anyone. It wasn't a time of celebrating at all.
But with the support of neighbours, happier times could be around the corner.
Jeff and I have come up here and we've really loved the area, and that's all we have.
A community battered and bruised, but far from beaten.
In sports, the 2023 to 2024 NCD Governors Cup Rugby League competition heads into quarterfinals with some thrilling football expected to continue today at the Cornet Tigers Oval. 70 teams, both men and women, have been participating in the competition during the last 3 weeks as the quest for cup title continues for the remaining teams. The competition is now into third week with quarter-final playoffs for the cup, plate and bowl categories. Remaining quarter-final playoffs are expected to play today, with finals to run on Sunday, December 31st at Sir Hubert Murray Stadium. Amongst the quarter-finals yesterday, Beefox Hangers defeated Gordon's Barracks 10 points to 6, and Morata Tree Bulldogs defeated Trades Pierce 6 points to 4 in the Cup quarter-finals, while in the plate quarter-finals, FWP Seals 4 defeated 24 Warriors 0. The 2023 to 2024 NCD Governors Cup continues quarter-finals today. That wraps up the Midday News Update. Join us for more at 6 p.m.